Sasrikal students, today let's start with the first lecture of Physics Class 11 System of Particles and Rotational Motion. Students, first of all, what comes to my mind is that we should learn what is the difference between circular motion and rotation motion. Can any student tell me?
In
Anyone?
circular motion, the body is revolving, but in rotational motion, the body is rotating as well on its axis.
Somewhat correct. Uh, you see, students, uh, let's say this is a circle, right? I'll draw a circle. Uh, yeah, this is my circle. Uh, okay. Uh, See, students, let us see that this is the center of the circle, and this is actually a wheel. Just think that this is a wheel. Uh, it's a kind of, this is the rim of the wheel, and the circle is rotating, though I'm not able to show you. Let's say it's rotating. So we can say the wheel is rotating. Am I right? You can say the wheel is rotating. But if you take some points on the wheel, these are the ribs of the, your wheel. It may be a cycle wheel. These are, take any point on the, you know, this ribs of the wheel. Maybe you take this point, you take this point, or you take this point. So what is the motion of this point? So you see this point will have a motion like this, which is circular motion. Similarly, students, if you make the trajectory of the motion of this point, it will also be a circular motion. And which is on the rim point, this is obviously, this circle is the trajectory of this point, that is circular motion. This is the difference between not very rotation and circular motion. The wheel is rotating, as Ishma said, about an axis. The wheel is rotating about an axis. This axis can be vertical, and this axis of rotation can be horizontal also. I have figures to tell you when the axis is vertical, when the axis is horizontal. Let's see, students, if you see this fan, what is the axis of rotation in this fan? See, this is the axis of rotation. Am I right? This line is the axis of rotation. The blades are rotating about this axis. So this is vertical axis of rotation. Whereas, students, if you see this fan, I'm talking about the blades, the rotation of the blades. So these blades are rotating about which axis? These blades are rotating about, if you see, this is the axis, right? Am I right, students? Hello? So this is horizontal axis of rotation, right? So there can be two axes of rotation. Let's go further. Okay. Now, in 11th class itself, or in 10th class also, we have studied two chapters. No, that is motion in a straight line and motion in a plane. There we were considering every time that it's the motion of a particle, right? Now we extend our concepts to from particle to extended bodies. Extended. For example, if you talk about a sphere, so this sphere can said to be having millions of particles in this. Okay, and you know every particle has can be characterized by different velocities or angular velocities or whatever it is, momentum or whatever it is. So if I take the effect of all the points, all the millions of points, that will give me the, that will give me the definition about rotation or velocity of about the whole sphere. Okay? Or you can say the sum total of the behavior of all the particles is equal to behavior of the body. This sphere can be considered as a extended body for all the millions of particles inside this. Okay. When we discuss, when we do some discussion or when we do some analysis, considering a particle, it becomes rather very easy, calculations and easy in everything. But students, when I talk about extended bodies, actually, let's say you talk about Earth. When the Earth is revolving as well as rotating, and during this rotation and revolution, if you have done a small experiment of, let's say you take a bucket, and if you rotate the water in this, if you rotate this bucket, you will see the water from the side splashes out, and from the center it dips down. This experiment can really show you why the Earth gets flattened on poles, deforming its perfect spherical shape. Right? What does that mean? That every part of the Earth doesn't have equal deformation. If you see the deformation in the Earth part, you know, so the deformation will not be so much as on the poles, on both the poles. That means, so if I want to see the effect of any force on the entire Earth, that effect has different effect on different sections of the Earth. So then when I want to see the effect of any force on the Earth, I'm talking about bigger forces, right? Not really pushing the Earth. So then it becomes difficult. Why? Because different parts of this body are behaving in a different way. Then I think of having a definition of a body which maintain its shape, which maintain its size under the effect of a given force. It's very, very important. Why? Because otherwise the analysis becomes very difficult. I want that there should not be any deformation in any part of the body, or if there is a deformation, it should be equal in all the particles or points in a body. So students, there comes the concept of rigid body, the first concept in this new chapter. Now, what is a rigid body, students? Ideally, it's an ideal concept. It's a hypothetical concept. There is no perfect rigid body which exists in the earth, on this universe. Just like there's no perfectly elastic or perfectly plastic body in this universe. Ideally, a rigid body is a body with you can say a perfectly definite and unchanging shape. Why I define this? Because I want all the particles in that body to behave in the same manner as when external force is applied, or it's under the effect of something. The distances between all the pairs of the distances between all the pairs of particles of such body do not change. This is very, very important. Definition of a rigid body. So as such, it doesn't exist. It's written here. Why it doesn't exist? Why? Because every body deforms under the effect of forces, under the effect of pressure, under the effect of gravitational force. There is a deformation in every body. Okay. But then we can, just for consideration purpose, we can assume a body to be a rigid body. Why? To understand the effect of external forces in a better manner. Okay. Now we are going to talk about what are the kinds of motion a rigid body will have. Let's go further, students. We want to see the kinds of motion a rigid body have. Student, let us say this is a wedge. It's an inclined plane. On this inclined plane, we have a body. Let's say this is the body. This rectangular cuboid is my body, right? Hope you can understand. This is my body, this rectangular cuboid. And now students, see, let's go more and more into depth of rigid body understanding. This motion, how is this motion? Let's say this angle of theta is greater than angle of repose. When I say it's greater than angle of repose, means this body starts sliding downwards, right? At any angle greater than angle of repose. So when it starts sliding down, actually every particle inside the body is having some velocity in this direction. Do you agree, students? Now, the interesting thing is the length of these two vectors is same. What does it show? The direction and the length means the magnitude of particle 1, particle 2. You take any particle in the body. If you take any particle in the body, their velocities will be same. So this is the concept of rigid body. In this case, the velocities of all the particles are same. This kind of motion is purely translational motion. Very, very basic terms in this chapter. In pure translation motion, at any instant of time, all the particles of the body have same velocity. Whether they are the particles at the bottom of the body, whether they are particles on the sides or on the top of the body, all the particles inside or outside, they have same velocity. Very, very important thing. What? All the particles in a rigid body, in a translational motion, the whole body is moving. It's sliding over this inclined plane. So all the particles are having same velocity. It's an inclined plane. Okay. Fine. Good. You have understood that. Now let's go further. We want to talk about other kind of motion, that is rolling motion. So what is this rolling motion, students? So now you see it's a cylindrical body. Let's say it's a cylindrical body. This circular body is a cylindrical body, students, and this is rolling. It's rolling over this, right? It's a cylinder basically having some length like this, maybe. It can be a cylinder like this, right? Right. So this is the length of the wedge is also like that, no? Wedge is also is extended wedge, no? Like that. So this cylinder is rolling. It's rolling over this, right? So they have only shown the side view to you. So now something interesting, students. All the though it's a rigid body, this cylinder also is a rigid body, but now because it's a rolling motion, all the points in this body are not having same velocity. Very interesting. Because velocity is characterized by direction as well as magnitude. So you see the direction is different. Not only direction is different, even the magnitude is different. For example, if you see the velocity of this particle, so it will be tangent to this curve, it will be in this direction. See the velocity of this particle, so it will be possibly parallel to this inclination of this plane. Okay, so now one more interesting thing which might be a little difficult for you to understand, that the particle which is touching the surface of the wedge at any moment is having zero velocity. The velocity of the point of contact P3 is zero at any instant of time. The cylinder rolls without slipping. Okay. Why it is said if it rolls without, see, if the cylinder is slipping and the whole thing comes down, then this particle also can be said to have some velocity owing to the slipping part. But this is not slipping. It's coming down and then goes up. So the point of contact, all the points of contact, not only this point, so that is having zero velocity. Okay, now students, let's understand this further by doing a numerical. This is no slip condition would be explained to you later at so many other stages, right? Especially in fluid dynamics and fluid mechanics. Okay, so students, now I will do a small numerical. Let's say there's a rolling, there is there's a body. Let me see if I have written the numerical here or not. No worry. So this is a cycle rim, students, as I have shown before. I've drawn this. This is I'm sorry. This is the rim of a cycle, students. And this rim of the cycle, the radius is, let's say, what? It's a 10 centimeter radius. Okay. He says, what is the velocity of this point? What is the velocity at the center of this? So let's say it's rotating in this direction. So this might have velocity in this direction. This might have velocity in this direction. Okay, now when I say again and again, what is a velocity? What is a velocity? There are two things. One is angular velocity, students, and one is linear velocity. Okay, every point is supposed to possess angular velocity as well as linear velocity. Very interesting point, students. If you take any point, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, any point anywhere, let's say I talk about time period t. In time period t, you know, this line would come here. Let's say these points are lying on this line. Let's say. The point can be anywhere. Let's say these points are lying on this line. So this line would come here. What is the angle swept by this point and this point and this point? Yes, Ishma, can you tell? What is the angle swept by all the points? Is it same or difficult? Is it same or different?
So I didn't understand which angle.
I'm asking Ishma that let us say there's a sphere. Let's say it's a sphere, or it's wheel of a cycle, and in the thickness of the wheel, where axle is there in the center. Let's say at any from the center or to the edge, there is a line joining. There are some points on this. Okay, so I'm saying this point P1, P2, P3, P4, P5. Are you able to see this figure first of all? Are you able to see?
Yes, sir. Yes, yes.
In time t, all the points move. Am I right? And all the points are having which motion? They are having circular motion, right? And this complete wheel is set to rotate. I've explained in the starting only. The complete wheel is set to rotate, and all the points are having circular motion. Now I'm asking you that let's say at time t1 the points were here, all the points in a straight line. At time t2, that means in the interval delta t, all the points come on this line, let us say. So what is the angle traversed by all the points? Is it same or different? Though the points are located in different positions. In time t, whether the angle swept by all the points is same or not, it is same. You see, this is the angle swept by point P1, this is by P2, the angle is same. So you can say the angular velocity is same for all the particles. Wherever they are placed in a sphere or in a rim. But the linear velocity is not same. Linear velocity V is equal to omega into R. Omega is the angular velocity into radius. So students, the question is the radius of the circle rim is 10 centimeter, and he says the angular velocity is same. Let us say the angular velocity is 20 radians per second. You already know what is the concept of radians. You know that this is angle is pi radians is equal to 180 degree. This is the relationship between degree and radians. 360 degree equals to 2 pi. That's why we say circumference of a circle is 2 pi r. Okay. So 2 pi r also actually means the same thing. You see, 2 pi r is what? Is a distance, right? It's a distance. So angle into radius. If I divide by t, it becomes omega r. So what is the velocity of this point, students? This point velocity would be omega into r. Omega is 20 radians per second into r is 10 centimeter. So it will be 200 centimeter by second. That will be 2 meter per second. But if you see the velocity of this point in the center, what will be that velocity, students? It will be omega r again. Omega is 20 radians per second into r is 5. So it will be 1 meter per second. So you have seen the linear velocities of the points is different as their position is different. This is what I wanted to explain to you, that yeah, when a body is having a rolling motion, in the rolling motion, the all the points are not having same velocity. The velocity is different and direction can also be different. Okay, now comes rolling. This is also this is rolling. In this is rolling and this is not rolling. This is rotation. What's the difference? Here also, if I take this blade, and if I mark few points on the blade, let's say point here, point here, point here. Okay, so let's say all these points are in a straight line, and then I mark 3 points here also, same points. So let's say in time t, this point reaches here, this point reaches here. Now you can see the angle swept by all the points is same, right? So we can say that angular velocity is same, because angular velocity is basically what? Angle swept per unit time. So in the same time, angle swept by all these 3 points is same. So their angular velocity is same, but their linear velocity is different. Linear velocity v is equal to omega r. That's what I am trying to say. Okay. So different points have different linear velocity, even if I consider this fan as a rigid body. Okay. Now, what is the difference between rolling motion and rotation motion? You see, when this is rolling, let's say this is the axis on which I'm not able to draw it. Actually, it will be perpendicular to the plane. It will be perpendicular to my laptop, perpendicular to the screen of your mobile. What video you are saying? So this axis is coming down. This axis is not stationary. This axis is coming down in the rolling motion, whereas this vertical axis is, can anyone say? It is stationary. The vertical axis is not moving, it is stationary. But this is rolling, this is the example of a rotation. But my question is, in the rotation, is the vertical axis always remains constant? Always remain same? No, not exactly. Let me see. Okay. This is basically just to show the rigid body rotation about z-axis. Let's say it's rotating about z-axis. Each point on the body, such as P1, P2, describes a circle with center C1 or C2 on the axis of rotation. Every point. Now they have different, uh, circles. The planes on which they are rotating. P1 point has different circle of radius C1 P1. P2 point has different radius C2 P2, right? So nearer the point with the P3, nearer the point with P3, lesser will be its linear velocity. Farther is the point, omega r. R is increasing, so its velocity will also be different. Okay, now it says this radius of circle R1, R2 is perpendicular to the distance of point P1, P2 from the axis. Point on the axis like P3 remains stationary. Students, if there is a point on the axis of rotation, there is no velocity for this. Am I right? Why? Because it's there on the same position only. Am I right? So let's go further. Okay. Now I wanted to tell you that in this rotary motion, axis of rotation is constant, is fixed. Is it always fixed in rotary motion? Not exactly. See a different type of motion. Just observe this video. This is in Hindi we call it lattu, or top. The top is rotating. So very interesting thing. This thing. Try to find this image here. We are going to rotate the lattu. Just see. So see that student is, it's making a cone. On a fixed point, it's making a cone. You see that? So is the axis of rotation stationary? Just see, now it is stationary, but before that, see, isn't it making a cone? This lecture is making a cone like this. Can you see? And axis of rotation is changing every time. And axis of rotation is the basically slant length towards the slant length of this cone. See again. Yes. Yeah. But now it is not behaving in what I want to tell you. This is fine. So guys, this is another types of motion where axis of rotation is not fixed like in case of this fan or in case of this fan. This is vertical axis is fixed. The blades of the fan are rotating about this vertical axis. And say here students, the blades of the fan are rotating about the horizontal axis, the line which I have drawn. Okay, turbine is another example. Okay. Now students, this is another very interesting example. This is the example of what I wanted to say to you was this is the example of our top. So the top is the bottom point of the top, which is in contact with the ground, is fixed. Very interesting. And the axis of rotation is constantly, going around the circumference of the cone. See again. Great. Students, such a motion, what it's known as, so this is known as precession. Such a motion is known as precession. Let me write down for you. Yes, this kind of motion is known as precession. So how do you define precession? This is movement of axis of top, around vertical. Movement of axis, not movement of top. Top is rotating about different axis every second. The axis of rotation is changing. It's changing in its angle, and its angle is always towards the slant height of this top, as you have just seen, right? I can say point of contact of the top with the ground is fixed. This point is fixed. Just see, this point is fixed, but the axis of rotation is also going around. So the axis of the rotation, one thing is sure, it passes through the point of contact. See, all the axis of rotation, they are passing through point of contact. This point is fixed. Such a motion is known as this movement of the axis of top around vertical is termed as precession. This is a vertical axis. So this is the axis of rotation itself is rotating around the vertical axis. Axis is changing. Axis of rotation is also rotating. All right. So have you observed sometimes students the same effect in the ceiling fan? In the ceiling fan, especially when the fan is old, have you observed what? First of all, this is the fan. Okay, student, this is the axis of rotation, vertical axis. Have you observed that the axis of rotation also starts rotating like this, especially in old fans? The whole fan is also moving like this. This hub of the fan, this is also moving. Hub is like this. To some extent, the hub also moves. Here you can say the axis of rotation of the fan is moving around this vertical axis in this case, just like this. So this is the example of recession. All right, students. So this much is sufficient. These are the little bit of what I can say, the the basic things I have told you about what are the three types of motions. So first type of motion of rigid body is what? Yes, students. What is the first type of motion of rigid bodies?
Transitional motion.
But not transition, translation. Transition is different. Transition of vapor to liquid. Translation motion. What is the specialty about translation motion? Every point inside the rigid body is having same velocity.
Same velocity.
So the whole body is moving. Whole body is moving. You know, there's no rotation. There's no rotation. It's pure translation motion. Every particle is set to move with the same velocity. Okay? Translation motion. Can you give me other examples of translation motion? See, this is the piston. Imagine this is a circular piston. It's moving in a cylinder, right? It goes further, comes back, goes further, comes back. This is also a case of translational motion. So all the particles inside the piston, all the particles, they are moving with the same velocity, whether forward or whether backwards, right? Another example, there's a book. You give a force to the book and the whole book is moving on the table. So you can see all the particles in the book, they are moving at the same speed, which is that of book itself, right? All the particles are moving with the same speed in translational motion. Then we have rolling motion. Okay, so what is great about rolling motion? In rolling motion, we have seen all the points are not moving with the same velocity. Some points are sitting idle, they're not moving at all at the point of contact. And you see the direction of every point is different. Here on the periphery, direction of every point is different. Okay, velocity is different. So this is rolling motion, translation motion, rolling motion, and then we have pure rotation. This is rotary motion. Okay, but if this rotary motion, this axis of rotation, this line, once again, if this line also moves, this line is also rotating, let's say, it's rotating like this. If this is line is rotating, then this motion is known as what? Precession. It's a special case of rotary motion. If this line is fixed, if this axis of rotation, whether vertical or horizontal, if they are fixed, then we say the rigid body is supposed to have a rotational motion. Okay, so that's all. I just want to give you the basic knowledge about the first lecture. So we'll see you tomorrow, uh, with the center of mass, and then, motion of center of mass. These two things we will cover tomorrow. See you sharp at 12 o'clock. Bye. All the best.